Hi, and thank you for joining me. In this video, we are going to look at one of the foundation skills when it comes to algebra, and that is multiplying or expanding brackets. In this video, I'm going to look at the single bracket and I will cover the double brackets in a different one. I really do hope you find this useful. This little part of algebra is quite often known as expanding brackets, but what we are in fact doing is multiplying, and we're using all the usual rules of algebra. So let's take a look at this first example here. We have a set of brackets, and in the bracket is x plus 4. Immediately outside the bracket is a 2. Now we know that in algebra when things are next to each other it means multiply. So in this case it means we are being asked to multiply the brackets by 2. If these were all numbers we would first work out what was in the bracket, but because we have x plus 4 we don't know the value of x, therefore we cannot do that. Our alternative then is to multiply each term inside the bracket by the number 2. So what we have to do here is multiply the 2 by the x and also multiply the 2 by the 4. Now the first thing to look at is all the signs. Well, there are no minus signs here, so in this particular example everything is going to be positive. There are no integers that we have to worry about here, so let's just expand this bracket. The first thing we do then, 2 times x. Well, 2 times x is simply written as 2x. They are both positive, so the answer is positive. We then have a plus 2 and a plus 4, so 2 positives, the answer is going to be positive, and quite simply 2 times 4 is 8. Therefore, if we expand or multiply these brackets, we end up with 2x plus 8. Let's have a look at another example. So the only difference here is that we have a minus sign in the middle of the brackets here. It does not make any difference to how we proceed with this, we just need to bear it in mind as we go through the sum. So this time it's going to be 3 times x, which we're going to write as 3x. We are then going to multiply the 3 by the 5, but we have to bear in mind it is a minus 5. So plus times minus gives us a minus. 3 times 5 is 15. The answer, 3x minus 15. Now let's have a look at what happens when there is a letter on the outside of the brackets rather than a number. So we are going to follow exactly the same rules. We have to multiply everything inside the bracket by what is outside. So in this case it's going to be x multiplied by the x and then the x multiplied by the 6. So first of all, x times x, well, x times x is written as x squared. Everything in this example is positive again, there are no minuses, so we now have x times 6, therefore it will be plus 6x. X squared plus 6x. Slightly different because of the indices, but the method we've used remains exactly the same. So now that we have the method, we can expand or multiply out anything that has brackets. So in this example, we have 2a, and first of all, we are going to multiply it by the a in the bracket, the first term. So 2a times a is 2a squared. We are then going to multiply the 2a by the 3, but again, remember, it is a minus 3, so in this case, we have a plus times a minus, therefore the answer is going to be minus, and 2a times 3, well 2 times 3 is 6a, so 2a squared minus 6a. Another example here makes things look slightly more difficult again because this time we have a minus term on the outside of the brackets. So let's follow the rules and see how this one works out. First of all, we are multiplying this term with the first one in the brackets, so we have a minus times a plus. That means we're going to start this time with a minus. We are multiplying 4x by 3x, well 4 times 3 is 12, and x times x is x squared. Secondly, we are going to multiply the outside term by the 2. Now in this case, we have a minus here and a minus on the inside. 2 minuses multiplied together make a plus. 2 times 4 is 8. Therefore, we have 8x. Let's have a look then at something that may appear in an exam, which at first glance looks particularly horrible. But in fact, if you look closer, you can see that what we are being asked to do is add together 3 separate lots of brackets. So what we need to do is expand or multiply out each set of brackets in turn. So first of all, we have here x multiplied by 3x plus 2. So we follow the rules that we have been using from the beginning. First of all, it's x times 3x, so that becomes 3x squared. X times x is x squared. We are then going to do x times 2. Everything is positive here, so it is plus 2x. We're then being asked to add that, so we can simply put in add, and then we need to work out or expand or multiply out the second set of brackets. So here, follow the same rules. Y times 2y is 2y squared. We then have the y times the 3, but this time bear in mind it's a minus 3, so we have a plus times a minus, that's going to be minus, and y times 3 is 3y. We are then adding on again the last set of brackets. So here we have 2x times x, that's 2x squared, and the very last we have 2x times 4, again everything is positive, therefore 2 times 4 is 8x. So we have simply followed the same rules for expanding out brackets 3 times, and as a result we've ended up with a long string of algebra. Now in this situation we've actually only partly finished the question. We need to continue a little bit further, because if we look along here we will find that there are some like terms and we need to collect them together. So in this case there are 3x squared here, and there is a 2x squared there. They are identical, they are like terms, therefore we can add them together. 3x squared plus 2x squared is 5x squared. Looking further along, we also have a plus 2x here and a plus 8x here. So again, like terms, 2 plus 8 is 10, so we have 10x. Looking at the y's, however, we have some y squareds and we have some y's, therefore they are not like terms, so we simply have to leave those as they are and put them on the end here. So this, with all our like terms collected, becomes the final answer. So that's multiplying out the single bracket. As always with algebra, follow the rules, watch for the indices, the minus numbers, and you won't go far wrong. The video covering double brackets is on a link to my side here if you want to have a look at that. If you have found this useful, please do hit the subscription button below, and hopefully I will see you again. Thank you.